10th plus 2 ஒவ்வொரு ஆண்டும் தொடர்ந்து மாநில அளவில் பல சாதனைகளை புரிந்து வரும் நாமக்கல் குறிஞ்சி கல்வி நிறுவனங்களில் CBSE பாடத்திட்டத்தில் சீனியர் செகண்டரி பள்ளியாக தரம் உயர்த்தப்பட்டு IIT நீட் தேர்வுகளுக்கு பல வெற்றியாளர்களை உருவாக்கிய ஆசிரியர்களை முழு நேர ஆசிரியர்களாக பணியமர்த்தப்பட்டு தினம்தோறும் வகுப்புகள் நடைபெறும்.
குறிஞ்சி எஜுகேஷனல் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் காவேட்டிப்பட்டி நாமக்கல். Admission in progress. CBSE KG to 12 contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12 contact 9344567484. For online admission log on to www.kurinjischoolnkl.in.
Hi students, this is Sakti Sundarodivel, Department of Mathematics, Kurinji Educational Institution, Namakkal. So in this class we are going to discuss about integral calculus. Before entering the topic, just we are going to give one message to convey to you. The message is, if you want to improve in our life, you have to follow the result. What is that? In any action, if we do, if it is interest and involvement is there, definitely improvement will be obtained. And one more thing, the secret of success is nothing but try one more time. Okay, let's go to the topic. Thank you. Hi students, this is chapter number 9, applications of integration. In 12th standard, we are having this chapter in volume 2. So already we heard and we completed the chapter differentiation and its application. Suppose if one knows differentiation very much, the integration is very much easy to understand. Okay, so integration is nothing but reverse of differentiation, you can say, or otherwise inverse of this one. If you know the formula and ideas for differentiation, we can easily calculate how to integrate. Right. First of all, we go to what is integration. Integration is nothing but to sum. Integration is nothing but to sum of the given function. The common word integration, integrate, is nothing but unite, add, sum, like this. So the same thing in our mathematical integration means we have to add all our functions of the given data. Okay, right. Wherever we are using the integration, sir, the integration is mostly used to find the area problems. So before going to area problems and volume problems, just we are going to give some idea about integration. If you want to add a particular number of natural number, whole number, whatever it may be, if you want to add the number, we use the symbol summation. So when it is countable or a particular value we want to find, suppose if we want to find first 5 numbers of natural numbers, what is the answer? So we use the symbol summation. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 gives the answer. So directly we are going to add. Suppose I want to get the sum between the interval 1 comma 2, 1 and 2. What are the values in between 1 and 2? There are many values in between this. So on this stage we cannot use the summation. So on this stage we are going to take integration. How to integrate? We are having many of the ideas. In the 11th standard itself we have completed the integration, basic ideas and formulas and everything we have done it. So still we have to continue the integration of applications of integration. Okay, right. So wherever already you told, sir, the area is going to be found by using the concept of integration. How to find? Right. Suppose if you are having a regular shape, for example square, what is the area of square? A square, having the sides A. What is the area of a rectangle? Length into breadth. Okay, so these are the regular shapes. Sometimes we are having the irregular shapes. So how to find the area of irregular shapes? So on this stage we use integration. Right. Okay, so on the topic of area and volume, in this chapter we are having at last of this chapter. So on that time we are going to discuss about these two. So basic idea for integration is nothing but to find the sum of the function, or otherwise to find area. More or less we are using the concept of area. So integration is not only giving the area but also gives some values, right? So in this case we are going to start a definition. Let f of x be a given function. Small f of x be a given function, and capital F of x can be found such that the derivative of capital F of x, that is d by dx of capital F of x, which gives the small f of x. Then the function capital F of x is called antiderivative of x. Integration is also called antiderivative of x, antiderivative of f of x. What is the meaning of antiderivative, sir? So already we know the concept of basic level. In the lower standard we have completed logarithm and anti-logarithm. What is the meaning? If you want to take the logarithm value of a given number, we get some answer. Sir, I don't want that answer, sir, I need a question again. We have to take again anti-log to them. The same thing, same process to be followed for differentiation as well as integration. So integration is nothing but, again we are going to obtain the question what we have derivated of the given function. The basic ideas for this, right? Okay, next. Now we are going to give a note. This result d by dx of capital F of x equal to small f of x. This result is not unique because for any arbitrary constant c. So I already informed. What is it I instituted? That is, if we got the answer, that means derivative value, still again we are going to integrate, then we obtain the quotient again. But when we obtain the quotient, the term one term will be missing. What the terms are? That means the constant only. The above result is not unique because for any arbitrary constant c, we get the result d by dx of capital F of x plus c, which is equal to d by dx of capital F of x, which is equal to f of x. For example, I am going to consider a function small f of x equal to x square and the same function x square plus 3. The derivative of the function of x square function, we know this is of the form x power n. What is x power n form derivative differentiation? Nx power n minus 1. Instead of n, we are having 2. So 2 into x power 2 minus 1. So f dash of x is nothing but 2x. Sir, I want again the same question. X square I want. Okay. Now I am going to take antiderivative. Already now we have informed this. Capital F of x is nothing but integral 2x dx. So we use the symbol, this is called integration symbol. So this integration symbol is nothing but we are using the alphabet s. If we elongated, this s becomes the integration. Sometimes we are using summation, that is for particular numbers. When the interval is given, then and there we are going to use only the integration. So capital F of x is 2x dx. So 2x, so this is nothing but x power n form. So later we are going to discuss this formula. In the board itself we have written x power n formula is x power n plus 1 by n plus 1 plus c. I am going to explain. But even though we have studied in the 11th standard itself, right? So this is nothing but x square by 2 will become. So 2 will be cancelled, remaining x square only. So the original term is obtained. Okay. So when we integrated the derivative term, we obtained the original function. This is called antiderivative of small f of x. Okay, great. The same thing for another example we have given. Small f of x equal to x square plus 3. So the derivative of this one, f dash of x equal to 2x. So again we want to question again. So integrating this 2x with respect to x, we get again 2 into x square by 2 plus c. So 2 will be cancelled, the remaining x square plus c. So why we are using c? So in the original function we are having the constant 3, but in the answer we got only the function value, missing of the constant value. So we have to add plus c for every integral function. Okay. So antiderivative of the function is nothing but we are going to get the original function what we have derivated earlier. This is the concept. Okay. So using this idea we are having 2 more notes. If capital F of x is an antiderivative of small f of x, then capital F of x plus c is also an antiderivative of the same function f of x. The above example will clear this explanation. What is the above example? The function is x square is one function, x square plus 3 is another function. Okay, both the function gives the same value, but the only term is in the function, first function having no constant, in second function having constant, so that after obtaining we are going to get the function only without constant. So we have to add, after integration we have to add the constant value, that is arbitrary constant we can conclude. So that in a function f of x is going to be integrated, we get f of x as well as f of x plus c is also an antiderivative of the same function f of x. Okay. So we intimated already, antiderivatives of f of x differ only by a constant. The same thing we obtain, right? Next we go to the next one. And one more thing, antiderivative of small f of x is called indefinite integral of small f of x with respect to x. That is integral small f of x dx. So antiderivative of f of x means what? Indefinite integral of small f of x with respect to x. Okay. Sir, what is the meaning of indefinite integral? Is there any integral concept, sir? Yes. Indefinite integral as well as definite integral. What is the meaning of definite integral and indefinite integral? Definite integral is nothing but a function gives a number. So after integrating a definite integral, we are going to get a numerical value. How, sir? So already I have informed that integration is nothing but to find the area of problem. So definite integral means we are going to find an area between a particular limit, for example x equal to a or x equal to b. Between the limits we are going to find an area. So when the limits of the area is given, definitely we are going to obtain a numerical value, that is called definite integral. Suppose indefinite integral means, the function is going to be obtained what we have derivated earlierly. What we have derivated, that function is going to be integrated, we are going to obtain the original function, that is called indefinite integral. That is of the meaning we have written like this, right? Next we will discuss the definite integral and the exercise itself. Next we go to the next topic, linear property. What is the meaning of linear property? Now look here, alpha into f of x plus beta into g of x into dx. We have to integrate sum of these two functions. So this is two cases. If it is possible to add, we can add. Otherwise, f of x is another function, g of x is one more function. So two different functions in terms of addition. So we have to integrate the given two function, sum of given two function. So sum of two functions can be find only by integrating separately. That is alpha integral alpha f of x plus beta g of x dx can be written as alpha into integral f of x dx plus beta into integral g of x dx. Here alpha and beta are constants, right? So if you want to find the sum of two integral, sum of two values of the function, again we have to split the integral into two parts. So only it is possible to add two functions only, sir? No, not at all possible. Up to n we can use. So up to 3 terms we can. So how many number of terms we are having in the integral, we can split that number of integration. So for left hand side means what? We have to add the function f of x as well as g of x and integrate. That is of the meaning we have to integrate f of x and g of x separately and adding them. These two result is true. Here alpha and beta must be constant. So constants, so we are taking outside of the integral symbol. So this is the basic idea or introduction for the integration. Okay. So now some of the functions and their antiderivatives and derivatives are given in the table. Right. The first table gives commonly we are using indefinite integral as well as differentiation. Next, second table is going to be integrate only the integration. So first we see the first table. I am going to consider a function, that is a constant function I am going to consider. Either it may be k or c, whatever it may be we can like. So already we are using the term c in arbitrary constant for integral constant. So we take k. So if you want to integrate the constant k, What is the indefinite interval value? Kx. What is the meaning, sir? When we want to find a integration for a constant, just we have to combine the x term only. With respect to x means x, y means y, whatever it may be, t means t. Right. Suppose I want to integrate 2, sir. What is the answer? 2x plus c. I want to integrate 1 by 2. 1 by 2x into plus c. This is a way to find. But in the earlier chapter, what is the derivative of constant? Constant, any constant value gives 0. So this is first concept of a constant is going to be integrated as well as differentiated. So this is a combination formula. Next, second formula, second idea, x power n. Now I am going to consider the function x power n. What is the integral formula for x power n? Is nothing but x power n plus 1 by n plus 1 plus c. But the condition is n not equal to minus 1. Why, sir, we have written the term like this? Suppose if we substitute the denominator minus 1, we get minus 1 plus 1 gives 0. So anything by 0, we get infinity. So this is not containing in the real number. We are discussing only the real values. Okay. The same thing, x power n is a function. What is the derivative of this? Nx power n minus 1. Right. So comparing this integration as well as differentiation. What is the difference? So already we have informed antiderivative of the function is integration. That is indefinite integral I told. The top of the page we have written like this. Okay. So nx power n minus 1 is the derivative of f of x. X power n plus 1 by n plus 1 plus c, where n not equal to minus 1 is the integration of x power n. So antiderivative, the side opposite. So in the derivative, n is going to be multiplied and the power is going to be subtracted. The same opposite for process for minus as plus. So here integration n minus 1 becomes n plus 1. N is multiplied. Here n plus 1 is going to be divided. Same opposite process we are using. Antiderivative of the function gives integration of the function. Okay. Right. This is x power n formula. Next. Ax plus b whole power n, where a not equal to 0 and b are constant. Why, sir, we are using a not equal to 0? What is the meaning of a not equal to 0? Non-zero constant. B may be 0. So that a not equal to 0. Suppose if your a is 0, what will become? X term is missing. So remaining is b power n. B is constant, n is also constant. It is goes to the first formula. So that we have considered a not equal to 0 and ax plus b whole power n is the original given function. What is its integration? 1 by ax plus b whole power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus c. Again n not equal to minus 1. Why, sir, we are using 1 by a? So 1 by a is nothing but the coefficient of x value what we have written. So 1 by a into the same thing. So it is look like the above formula. So in the second function, just we have only x power n. But in the third function, x as well as the constant. So that this of just we are going to consider this one as x. So this x power n. Instead of x, we are using ax plus b whole power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. So what is the coefficient of x here? A. So a comes the division of this. So 1 by a into ax plus b whole to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus c, where n not equal to minus 1. So this is the integration of ax plus b the whole power n. Next, the same thing for derivative. So already I informed you know. So division goes to multiply and addition goes to subtract. Okay. Now look here. So n into ax plus b whole to the power n minus 1 into a. It is the same idea. X power n formula. X power n formula, what is it? X power n derivative nx power n minus 1. But here ax plus b. The same thing, nx power n minus 1. So instead of x, we are using ax plus b into, what is the coefficient? X coefficient is a. So we have to multiply. So the term divide in integration, the term a is going to be multiplied in the derivative, that is differentiation term. So that we have already informed integration is nothing but antiderivative of the given function. Okay. Next, fourth function e power ax, where a not equal to 0. Why? Again we are using a not equal to 0. Suppose if we substitute a as 0, e power 0, anything power 0, we get 1 you know. So 1 again it goes the constant function. So e power ax is a given function. You want to find integration. This is nothing but e power ax by a plus c. So we can easily identify what is the derivative of this. So again I informed division goes to multiply, that's all. So e power ax by a plus c is nothing but integration of a e power ax. A e power ax gives differentiation or derivative of e power ax. Okay, these two are the comparison. Next, trigonometric function. Sin of ax plus b, where a not equal to 0 and b are constants. So a is also constant, b is also constant, but a must be non-zero constant. So that we have written a not equal to 0. What is the integration of sin of ax plus b? So instead of sin we change into cos, but in integration we use minus cos. So sin of ax plus b is nothing but integral value is cos of ax plus b divided by a plus c, right? The same thing for differentiation. Sin of ax plus b is going to be differentiated with respect to sin becomes cos. Cos of ax plus b, but in this integration we have a is in the division, but here multiplication. So 1 by a here it comes, but here is going to be multiplied. So into cos of x plus b. Next, sixth formula, cos of ax plus b, where again a not equal to 0 and b are constants. What is cos? The integration of cos is nothing but sin of ax plus b divided by a plus c. So the same thing for derivative, cos becomes minus sin. Cos becomes minus sin. So minus a sin of ax plus b. So here division of a is going to be multiplied. Antiderivative of f of x is called indefinite integral. We have studied, right? Okay. Next, formula number 7. A power x, where x not equal to 0 something. So a power x is going to be integrated. What is the idea? A power x by log a plus c. Again the same formula to be used for derivative a power x. So division of log a. So log a definitely gives a constant value. So a power x into log a we are going to obtain. So a power x divided by log a plus c is the integral value of integration of a power x. The differentiation of a power x is nothing but a power x into log a. So mainly the common formulas and common ideas to be followed for indefinite integral as well as differentiation derivative, right? Next, go to the next table. Function f of x and indefinite integral f of x dx. So these are the 4 ideas only we have integrated. So these 7 ideas to be for common for both differentiation as well as integration. So this is we are going to use separately only the integration. So 1 by ax plus b, where a not equal to 0 and b are constant. So it is look like 1 by x. So whenever we the denominator having x term, we treat it as x and then we replacing a, b, whatever it may be. So this is the way to integrate. So 1 by ax plus b, where a not equal to 0 and b are constant. What is integral? Integration of 1 by ax plus b, it is nothing but 1 by a log modulus of ax plus b to the base e plus c. Why sir we are using modulus? So instead of minus plus we are going to take the same thing. Next, second function, tan of ax plus b, where a not equal to 0 and b are constant. So what is the integration of tan x? Tan of ax plus b, 1 by a log secant ax plus b to the modulus plus c. Okay. Next, third function, cot of ax plus b, again we have written like this. Again here also what will come, where a not equal to 0, non-zero constant for a value and b is any constant. So a not equal to 0 and b are constant. What is the integral function of cot of ax plus b? It is gives 1 by a log of modulus of sin of ax plus b plus c. The same thing for secant. Secant of ax plus b, again where a not equal to 0 and b are constants. The integral function value is 1 by a log modulus of secant ax plus b plus tan of ax plus b plus c, right? So at last trigonometry at the last function, cosecant of ax plus b, where a not equal to 0 and b are constant. So the resulting of integral value is integration of this cosecant of ax plus b gives 1 by a log of modulus of cosecant ax plus b minus cot of ax plus b plus c. So in the first table we got we give the result of sine and cos. So the remaining 4 ratios as we have written in the second table. Okay. So totally 6 trigonometric ratios we have differentiated first 2 and remaining 4 we have integrated, because already we know the differentiation of tan, cot, secant, cosecant in the earlier classes. Okay. So that we have written only the integral function value of these 4 functions. Next we go to this, one of the important concepts of the sums we are going to use in the further exercise. What are the formulas and what are the functions we are having? When the function is of the form 1 by a square plus x square, where a not equal to 0 is a constant, that is a is a non-zero constant, what is the form we are going to use? 1 by a tan inverse of x by a plus c. So the integral function value of 1 by a square plus x square gives 1 by a tan inverse of x by a plus c. Next, one more thing, 1 by a square minus x square. Now look at the 6th and 7th function, only the sign is, so the 6th function only a square plus x square, here a square minus x square, plus and minus 1 be the change. Again here also a not equal to 0 and this is a constant, that is non-zero constant. This integral function is nothing but 1 by 2a log modulus of a plus x divided by a minus x to the base e plus c. So this is integration of 1 by a square minus x square. Next, 8th form. What is the 8th function? 1 by x square minus a square. Now look at the 7th and 8th. So in the 6 and 7 only the signs are changed, but 7 and 8 the functions are interchanged. A square goes to instead of minus, x square comes the positive side. So 1 by x square minus a square, where a not equal to 0 is a constant. What is its integration? 1 by 2a log modulus of x minus a divided by x plus a to the base e plus c. So this is the integral of 1 by x square minus a square function. Next, form number 9, this integral formulas. The function is 1 by root of a square plus x square, right? Again here we can use where a is a constant only. What is the integration of 1 by root of a square plus x square? Log of modulus of x plus root of a square plus x square to the base e plus c. Okay. Next, at last we have used 1 by root of a square minus x square. The 9th and 10th function. The same function we have obtained, instead of plus we use minus. Again where a not equal to 0 is a constant. Why sir we are using a not equal to 0? Suppose if it is a constant is 0, what will become? So minus x square will be in the square root value. So in square root does not contain the negative symbol. So that we have listened carefully, where a not equal to non-zero constant of the function 1 by root of a square minus x square gives the integral function value sine inverse of x by a plus c. So at last integral of 1 by root of a square minus x square gives the integral function value is sine inverse of x by a plus c. So there are again another formulas is having what are they? 1 by root of x square minus a square, where a is a constant, log modulus of x plus root of x square minus a square to the base e plus c. This is another function. So next function, root of a square plus x square, where a is a constant, the integral function value is x into root of a square plus x square by 2 plus a square by 2 log x plus root of a square plus x square to the base e plus c. Next, root of a square minus x square is a function where a is a constant. The integration of this function is x into root of a square minus x square by 2 plus a square by 2 sine inverse of x by a plus c. At last we have one more function, root of x square minus a square, where a is a constant. The integration of root of x square minus a square gives x into root of x square minus a square by 2 minus a square by 2 log x plus root of x square minus a square to the base e plus c. So students, So in this video we discussed the basic or introduction of integration and what are the functions and what is its integration, as well as the differentiation we have studied. So next video we are going to discuss further. Okay, thank you.